Hi, it's Veronique with the CogniDiet Lifestyle Show, and here I am back with a wonderful guest. Of course, I know her because I know how talented she is. This is Susan Panzica, a certified fitness trainer, and we are going to look at, in general, this is like an appetizer. This is the first show with her about tips and tricks to make sure you exercise intelligently, especially as a woman, and especially when you get over 50, things are different. So welcome, Susan.
Thank you.
To start with, thank you for being here. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you become a fitness trainer?
That was a long and winding road, Veronique. I started my career in corporate America. With a tiny little company called AT&T, and spent 15 years in corporate America, but had always been really interested in fitness, very active. Mm-hmm. I was a high school athlete, I was a college athlete, and that was working out and exercising and fitness was a way to release stress when I was a corporate person. And I left AT&T and owned a couple of small businesses. Both of which were successful, both of which I ended up selling. And I found myself in my mid-40s in a very enviable position to say, okay, what do I want to do now, as opposed to what do I have to do? And I thought, why not capitalize on my passion, which was fitness and exercise? So I went back to school and became a certified personal trainer. And over the years have just increased my knowledge and my experience and my expertise. I have 2 additional certifications, a 200-hour yoga instructor certification and a Pilates mat certification. So I bring a bit to the table.
You bring a lot, and I think you're very modest, but I think my next question was, what makes you different as a trainer? And I think you kind of started to explain why.
Sure. Beyond my credentials, which are not typical in my space, I have a unique perspective on women, because I am a woman. Yeah. I am well over 50.
You don't look it.
Thank you. See, it's exercise.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of exercise. But I know a lot about what happens to women as we age, and it's not fun sometimes and not pleasant.
And frustrating.
So frustrating, and I hear that every day. I'm doing all of these things, I'm doing the right things, I'm going to the gym, I'm eating well, I'm, moderately drinking alcohol. Why? I hear that almost every day. I think, and the other thing is, I am a great listener. And people say that, oh, I'm a terrific listener, but I have found that women are not as in tune to their bodies. And sometimes they tell me things that I pick up on with what's happening with their bodies that they haven't
been aware of
because we're worried about things at work, and we're worried about our children or our lives or our partners or what have you, and really not paying attention to what's happening with the body.
This is a common theme in general with women.
Oh,
it's always everything first, and then she comes
in. If I've done all of these things, then I can treat myself or take care of myself or carve out time. Yeah.
So what is really important for women to know about exercising? I know you spoke about, age changes and so forth. So what's your observation or recommendation for women? Maybe once they get to menopause, the body is changing, right?
Yes, the body is changing, and we have hormones to thank for that. Probably the most important thing is your intensity.
Okay.
So you can't get by with what you did 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. You really have to kick the intensity up to the next level. But that doesn't mean that it needs to be complicated. If you are a walker.
But what do you mean by intensity? It means like it has to be harder. Is this
Yes.
what you mean?
Yes.
Is this the famous high intensity interval training idea?
It is. That's certainly a part of it.
Okay.
And I think we'll touch on
Yes.
that a little bit later.
Yes.
But anything that elevates your heart rate higher increases intensity. So you're sweating, you're out of breath. You could carry on a conversation where you were able to respond with 1 or 2 words, but you wouldn't be able to have an interaction like you and I are having because you're too out of breath. So anything, your heart rate is elevated, you're perspiring, you're working hard. That's what I mean by intensity.
And what's the benefit of this?
The biggest benefit is calorie and fat burn, which are 2 of the biggest things that I also hear every day is fat burn, fat burn. How do I, well, mostly women say to me, how do I lose weight? But really, they want to lose fat.
Yes.
They want to change their body composition to have more lean muscle and less fat. And intensity, an increase in intensity will get you there.
And this leads to the question, what I've noticed in my nutrition practice is women have a tendency to lean on cardio for the fat loss. And strength training and building muscle usually is met with a lot of resistance.
Yes.
So, you've preached to me and I'm converted, but tell us a little bit more about cardio versus strength training and the importance of strength training.
Yes, that is another thing I hear every day. If I can only do one thing, what should I do? And it's, that constant tug and battle between cardio and resistance training. There is a place for both. I certainly don't want to say none of us ever have to do cardio for the rest of our lives. Heart disease, the #1 killer of women, the #1 in our country. Before breast cancer, before any of the cancers combined, heart disease, #1 killer of women. So we don't want to stop doing things that are heart healthy.
And when you do cardio, are you muscling your heart?
You are. It's like a resistance
It's like
workout
a muscle.
for your heart. Yes, your heart is very much a muscle. And without exercise, i.e. cardio, it will atrophy and eventually stop working. Yes.
That's
So you
important.
should treat your heart like your biceps, like your quadriceps, like your hamstrings, any other muscle in the body.
Okay.
But the resistance training
Yes.
is what is going to change your body composition. So the best analogy that I can give is that if you only did cardio, you will probably lose fat, but you will become a thinner version of what you already are. So if you want lean muscle, which you do because muscle burns more calories than fat when you're sleeping, when you're sitting at your desk, when you're watching TV, you are burning more calories with muscle.
It also holds your whole body, right?
Yes.
You need to keep those muscles
Yes.
because when we get older, also we lose our muscle mass.
As we age, we do. Women especially.
Yeah.
And again, hormonal changes play into that.
Yes.
So to really change your body composition, to have less of a percentage of body fat and more of a percentage of lean muscle, resistance training is the way to do that. And that could be body weight too. I mean, it doesn't have to be in the gym with big weights like men do. And that's the biggest fear, I think, with women is they're like, oh, I want to be long and lean. I want a dancer's body.
I don't want any bulge.
I don't want
Which
to
is
be
an
bulky.
excuse. Yes.
I don't want to be bulky.
Yes.
We do not have enough testosterone in our systems to be bulky.
No.
With the heaviest of weights, that cannot physiologically happen in women.
I remember one day you said when you were presenting to, during a workshop, that if you had, that you were recommending like 3 times a week strength training, and that if you had to sacrifice cardio versus strength training in one session, you would always say, save your strength training session.
Yes, absolutely. You were paying attention.
Yeah, I was really listening to you.
You were.
Yes.
Yes. That's very true. If you can only do one thing, I only have, I can only work out one time this week. should I do cardio or should I do resistance training?
Yes.
And you are a woman over 40, the answer should always be resistance. Yeah.
Is there a way, no, there are so many classes where everything is combined. I bet, because I find personally, which is another excuse, that strength training is boring. And then working with a trainer like you makes a difference because you're a pro, you're doing it with somebody and so forth. But there are classes now, right, where they do a good job at combining strength and cardio? Is this
Yes.
also a good choice?
Yes, it is a great choice, especially if you're not familiar with weight training or you're intimidated.
Yeah.
A lot of women, they like to stay on the treadmill side of the
Yes.
gym and
Yeah.
never cross that horrible, scary line into where all the weights and the machines are. Yeah, so a class that combines cardio and there are even classes that are only resistance classes are a good way to go.
Yeah.
My biggest caveat with that is always, always work at your own pace and your
Yes.
own level. It's easy to get caught up in the energy of the class or the competitiveness, or you're looking at your neighbor who's doing more weight than you are or faster than
And
you
you're not
are.
ready to go at that pace.
Right. Right.
Well, I always advise my clients when they are like they were not exercisers and they're going back. I say always, you're gonna like this. Go with a trainer.
Yes.
Even if it's only for a few sessions, and I usually recommend a woman, by the way, nothing against men trainers, but that this person will help understand what is your level of strengths and how far you can go instead of going crazy doing anything that you read somewhere in the gym on your own, because you can hurt yourself.
You can. And two, as we age, not only does your body composition, but your joints change. It is so much easier to get injured at 50 than at 25 or even 30 or even 40.
Yeah.
And a trainer will do that. First, we'll give you a solid analysis of where you are physically and fitness-wise, and then adjust your form, because a lot of us have years and years and years of horrible habits
and horrible posture
that will lead to
Yes.
injuries
Yes.
if you're not careful.
Yeah, you're right. So a question I very often have is, I'm walking. This is my exercise.
Sure.
So is walking counting as exercise? You're going to say depends, right?
I am. You know me too well. It does depend. If you are, and I am a dog lover, I am an owner of a dog. If you are walking your dog and your dog is stopping every 10 feet to sniff, and
Yes.
that is not exercise. Necessary, very necessary, but that is not exercise.
Yeah, I have such an old dog that I walk faster than he does
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Yes. So you need to do that.
Yes.
You need to do that.
Yeah.
And that's very mind clearing and can be almost meditative, which is great for stress relief.
And you said that too, by the way, when you came to our session. You said you have the cardio, you have the strengths, but don't underestimate the clearing of the head, the meditation. You need to relax as well.
Yes.
So walking is a good relaxation.
It's great for that.
Yeah.
But if your only option is to walk, walk briskly, move your arms, get
Using
your whole
poles?
body. If you need to, but poles I think can become crutches.
Okay. Yeah.
Balance is another thing that I see often deteriorating with some of my senior clients.
Yes.
So anything that challenges balance, and walking on uneven pavement outside is going to challenge your balance. So if your arms are swinging and you're really sort of trucking along, that is absolutely exercise.
You try. In fact, what you're doing is you make sure that your heart, you start to feel your heart is beating faster.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it counts.
It does count.
Yeah. What about yoga, Pilates, and so forth? I've done Pilates in the past, so it gives you those lean muscles, but
Right.
is this enough in terms of what we call strength training?
It can be. Certainly Pilates can.
Yeah.
And a lot of different yogas can, because you are using your body weight in a lot of yoga and Pilates poses.
Yeah.
You are almost in a plank position where you are having to support your own body weight. So that does count as resistance training. That's why you never see a yoga instructor with flabby arms.
No.
Yeah. Or a Pilates instructor with a big belly.
Yeah.
I mean, they all have very tight core. So yeah, absolutely a part of a well-rounded and great for cross training.
Yeah.
If all you do is run on the treadmill, go into a Pilates class or a yoga class. I mean, that's going to be great.
What about the bar, which is very...
It's sort of the new...
It's a new it
Yeah,
thing.
it's the new it type of exercise. Personally, I have tried a couple bar classes, and they're very, very repetitive and methodical, and that's tough for me. I don't know if it's...
you want variety?
Yeah, but the people that do it swear by it and love it.
I have some friends in their 70s who are bar addicted, and they have amazing bodies and amazing posture.
Yes.
It's like you are like a dancer. You have it's almost like you're training to be a dancer, a ballet dancer. Not as hard, but almost.
It is.
Yeah.
It is that same repetitive, high repetition, low resistance, but it brings the point that there's really something for everyone.
Yeah.
While bar night might not be my thing, it could be your thing. And whatever it is that excites you, that's going to get you there on a regular basis and keep you consistent, that is the key.
That's what
consistently over time. So if you love it and you're addicted to it and it's working, keep doing it.
But you have to find the thing you love.
You do.
You know, very often it's like with those exercise resistant clients, I have to say, okay, better try something. There are so many choices that, but if you don't try them, you're not going to be finding your calling. Like a woman, finally, she became crazy about kayaking. She bought a new kayak. She was in her 60s. She bought even a car, and she became a kayaker because she could also enjoy nature.
Yes.
But she was really looking for the thing she would
find
like.
your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to keep you going back and back and back and keep you consistent.
So now I said I would come back to those high intensity interval training.
Yes.
The HIIT.
The HIIT.
The HIIT. And I have an anecdote to tell you, because when it's in my book and when I talk about it to my clients, because I say, you know, this is what you need to do to really burn the fat, amongst other things. And sometimes we are in the same gym. They were coming to do HIITs with me on the elliptical.
Okay.
And I am doing exactly what you know. I'm red in the face. I cannot talk, whatever.
Great.
And they were cruising next to me, thinking that they were doing a HIIT. So explain to us what, you know, the HIIT.
We see that a lot on the bicycle or elliptical, reading People magazine or on your phone or swiping your Kindle. Yeah. And thinking, okay, I'm getting my exercise in, or chatting with the person next to them, which is, you know, you're in the gym, and that's certainly better than being sedentary. So you get points for that.
Yes.
You get points for that. But that is not HIIT. So HIIT is doing high intensity, and by high intensity, if you are a beginner, you are 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Now, how do you know what that number is? You take the number 220 and subtract your age, and that is your maximum heart rate. It's not super precise, but it's close enough. Now, does that mean you can never get close to that number or your heart is going to explode? No, that is the number that you don't want to exercise for any duration of time, 30, 40, an hour, minutes. You don't want to go beyond that. So you take 220 minus your age to get your maximum heart rate, and then take 70, 80, 90, if you're super fit, 95% of that number.
I get to the 100%, but because I started to do HIITs and I've been a runner for 10 years.
Perfect.
But I am better today than I was 10 years ago, which tells the story that I have built muscle in my heart.
Yes, absolutely. And your heart
It's
is
never
stronger.
too late. Never too late.
It is never, ever, ever too late.
But explain how it works, because right, you go by burst. You don't have to be
Yes.
suffering forever on
Yes,
that machine.
and it's super effective. You don't have to
Yes.
do it as long either.
20 minutes, 30 minutes, overall cycle.
Yes.
But how does it work?
So once you get to your maximum heart rate and you decide, okay, it's 70%, 80%, 90%, you're going to work at that number for 30 seconds, 45, no longer than a minute.
Yeah.
If you're super fit, a minute and a half,
Yeah.
but that's it. And then for twice the amount that you did your high intensity burst, you're going to do an active recovery. Now, that doesn't mean get off the piece of
No,
equipment.
just continue.
Just take it down, bring your heart rate down, and then go back up for doubles.
So it's like a seesaw, but you
Yes.
stay at the top for a very short period of time.
30 seconds, a minute, 90 seconds at most.
Yeah, I read that your metabolism is increased for up to 24 hours after you do even 20 minutes of
is.
intensity
And
indoor
really,
training.
that's all you
Yeah.
need is 20 minutes. So it's super efficient. We are all so time starved that doing HIIT,
Yes.
gone are the days of 45 minutes on the
Yes,
treadmill.
yeah.
You can get a great workout and a calorie burn for up to 24 hours if you're really working in that 70 to 95% of that maximum heart rate.
So you work
Super
less,
efficient.
you burn more.
Correct.
So this leads me to my next question. You know, and you just alluded to the fact that we don't have the time to go 1 hour to the gym, or very often it's an excuse. So tell me, what is this? Can you just do 10-minute exercise? I have an elliptical at home, or
Yes.
it matters if I do 10 minutes 4 times in the day versus 40 minutes at once?
It doesn't.
It does.
40
It's the
minutes
same.
is 40 minutes.
Perfect.
Whether it's 4 10-minute sessions or 1 40-minute session. As long as you are getting your heart rate up, or doing some resistance training. And it doesn't even have to be complicated. You don't have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You could do a series of sit-ups, push-ups,
Yeah.
jumping jacks, or put some great music on that you love and dance around your living
music,
room.
yes.
Yeah, and kick your knees up high and move
Yeah.
your arms around. That absolutely counts.
Yeah.
Or when you're at your kitchen counter and you're waiting for the microwave, you have
Yeah.
a minute to
Yeah.
something cooks.
Do
Do
yes.
some push-ups
Yeah.
against your kitchen counter.
Yeah, great ideas. So you brought
did.
some props with you. Want to
I did
show
bring
us?
some props. So these, Veronique, are what I call my big three.
Okay.
Which is
The
really
big threes
the
of
big three.
Susan.
The big three, which is really all you need to do
You can put
exercises.
this in your suitcase when you go on
Yes.
vacation.
So portable, right?
Oh, I love
so
that.
portable.
Okay, so what is this?
That is a glider.
A
It
glider.
works on carpet and it works on floor.
Okay.
So you can put, if you have 2 of these, and I would recommend
Yeah.
2, you can put them on your hands and go in a plank and do,
Okay.
yeah.
You slide. It's
do
just
slide it. You can put your foot on it and do lunging, backwards,
Okay.
forwards, side lunging. You can put one on your 2 on your hands, 2 on
Yes.
your feet, and really do all kinds of things with something that will literally fit in your pocketbook.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's less than $10.
Okay. Number 1.
Number 2 is a band. These fit either around your ankles, and they are resistant. So if you tug on that, there's some resistance there.
Pretty resistance.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can put them above your knees. You could put this above your knees, sit at your desk. Remember the
Oh,
Suzanne
yeah, you're
Summer
right.
Thigh
Yes.
Buster? Yeah.
Yes.
So you could sit at your desk on a conference call doing some
when
thigh
you are like
busters.
stuck for 2 hours, right?
Exactly. Or you could do upper body
Yes.
if you had a headphone on your
that's
and you were
super
not on
cool. I
Skype and
want
nobody
this.
could see you.
Yes.
So this is number 2, upper body, lower
Very
body.
cool. Is this sold like this? Or you have to build it? No, it's sold like this.
So there are varying degrees of resistance. That
I know.
tends to be
Yeah.
a heavy one.
But it's sold like this.
yes,
Yeah,
so
oh,
exactly like that.
amazing.
And then these bands are my personal favorite. They are not only great for really fit people, but people recovering from injuries, or even if you're bedridden, even you could loop one of these around a bedpost and do a single arm. So this works arms, legs. You could, again, sit at your desk, put your foot on it. You're on a conference call or you're reading through material and do some bicep curls.
Yeah, you don't always need to have the weight, right? You
No,
can
and
do it
weights
with
are not portable. You're
No,
not going to
no.
put 10-pound dumbbells in your suitcase. Yeah,
That's a
so
very good
this
point. So
curls
this is
right up.
So
you
those
can do
are
upper body.
survival bag.
This 3 quick, easy, very portable, very versatile. So they're my big 3.
Okay, well, you know what? I love the one that I'm going to have one.
Yes,
I'm going to buy
sit
one
at your
like
desk.
This. Yes,
And
yeah,
and even upper body too. And you can raise your arms over your head. I mean, there are a million
multiple
things.
combinations.
You can put your arms through these too,
okay.
as well as your feet. A million
nice.
combinations.
Very nice.
And literally could fit in your tote bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So my last question is, it was all super informative and exciting, and I want to say, everybody, don't worry, Susan will come back with some more specific topics.
I will.
But how do you I always hear, how do I get motivated to exercise? And I always say, well, it's a question of motivation and discipline. But what do you think is how do you even yourself motivate your client? What is your word of wisdom?
Number 1 is accountability.
Okay.
Have some accountability. And that could be to a friend, to there are all kinds of websites out there where you can buddy up and partner up
Yes.
with someone across the country, where you're just logging in your workouts or sharing tips. I'm a busy mom, or I'm a busy professional, and you need some sort of accountability. That's why trainers, frankly, work so well.
Yes.
Because if you have an appointment that you have paid for, you're going to show up.
And I always say, even if you don't have a trainer, put your appointment with yourself at the gym in your calendar.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, it's always the first thing that disappears.
It's always the first
because there is
thing.
another priority. But have the discipline to put it in your calendar.
So whether that is accountability
Yeah.
to your girlfriend, to your partner,
Yeah.
to your workout buddy across the country, accountability will keep you motivated.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Susan.
It was
thank
such a
you
pleasure.
for being
Thank
with
you.
us
Thank
today.
you.
And have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And don't forget to move your body.
Yes.
Because if you move it, it's also good for your head. Bye.